Okay, so this tournament was the Alabama State Team Championship. Yeah, hi YouTube. I forgot to say that. Sorry. So I'd never played in a team event before. I was excited to do that. If you don't know, the format is it's teams of four, and then your scores. You play another team of four every round, and your scores aggregate, and then it sort of works like a regular Swiss, except for how your team performs is what counts. Um, So that was fun because not only are you concerned with your own game, but you're looking at how how your teammates are doing and stuff like that. Um, and one consequence of that setup that didn't really occur to me until the tournament was almost over is that like I was on board three for my team, so I'm gonna play board three people like every round. So if I do well, my opponents stay about my strength or a little stronger. And if I do badly, my opponents stay about my strength or a little stronger. So that made it hard to like have a big swingy tournament. Like in a regular tournament, if you lose your first game, you're going to get a weaker pair in your second game. And if you lose that, you're going to keep getting weaker. And if you keep losing, then your rating just, tanks. So any nerves? That brings me to my next point. I never really feel what I would say is nerves about a chess tournament anymore. Um, but I do feel a lot of anticipation, and that often manifests itself in insomnia, which I did experience quite a bit of before this tournament. So this tournament was about an hour and a half away from where I live, and the first round was at 9 a.m. So obviously I got a hotel. I don't want to wake up at 7. Um, so I got a hotel like right next to the venue, and I slept between 1 and 2 hours the night before the event. And I was very close to just not playing the event or at least like skipping the first round to try and get more sleep. Um, but if I had done that, then it kind of would have screwed over my team because then the guy on board 4 would have to play up on board 3, so he's playing stronger people, and there's like no way that it would have been bad for my team. So I was like, okay, I'll suck it up and basically play the whole day on extremely little sleep. Okay, so that's all the background information that I think you need for the tournament. For round one, I got some insider info from one of my teammates on what this guy likes to play and stuff like that, because I'd never played him before. And he likes to play like the Banco against D4. And I did some prep, and I decided I'm going to try to let him not play the Banco. And I'm going to finesse him. And my prep sort of paid off, although he didn't really play into my prep. But basically my idea was to play knight f3 on move 2. And I looked at some of his online games and saw that he usually would just play c5. And if I can remember my prep, maybe I shouldn't even say it, but basically I had some line where I was gonna, I'll just say it doesn't really matter, but because it only is relevant if I know someone's gonna play the Banco. But in this position, my big idea, was it here or was it somewhere else? I can't even remember. But at some point, my idea was to play oh no, here I have to defend the pawn. No, I don't. My queen's defending. At some point, my idea was to play a4 and keep him from playing b5. Anyway, that didn't actually happen. Because in this position, rather than play c5, he just played g6 right away. So now I kind of thought, like, he's probably still going to play c5 and make it like a Benoni at some point, because that's like what he plays, as far as I could tell. But I played c4, and I was very much expecting c5, but he surprised me and played bishop g7. And at this point, I'm pretty happy, because I feel very comfortable against the King's Indian. So, even though he didn't play into my prep, I feel like that by doing this knight f3 thing on move 2, I don't know what his thought process was about it. Maybe he was always going to play a King's Indian, but it felt like I sort of tricked him into playing a different opening than he would normally play. So that was good. Now the downside is after my last OTB game, I actually want to start playing the Makaganov as like my main line against the King's Indian, but can't really do that with the knight on f3 already, or at least it would be pretty different. He can still choose to play c5 more or less though if he wants. That's true. That's true. Yeah, and I guess it's true that it's not really a King's Indian yet. Like it could become a Grunfeld or something. But I spoiled the game by telling you it's a King's Indian. Okay, so knight c3, and we're fully in King's Indian land after d6. We can all agree now that this is a King's Indian. So okay, I'm happy. I know this opening, pretty well, I guess, for someone of my ilk. So yeah. And here he played a move which I actually have faced over the board before, and I didn't think it was very good. And then in that previous game, I asked my opponent about it, and he was like, yeah, it's a line. It's like, whatever, not a big deal. But I'm going to stick with it's not very good. And he played knight c6, which is sort of a move early in the King's Indian. Like, normally they play e5, and then they play knight c6 so that the knight can come to e7 if it's challenged with d5. So after knight c6, sort of the most obvious continuation is to just play d5 right away. And then the previous time I had this position over the board, my opponent played knight e5, and I happily took. And that game was a draw, although I probably should have. But that's probably true in Quander. Maybe he was wanting d5 to happen because he didn't like some other positions. Yeah, but I also think it's possible that he wanted to play a Benoni. He ended up in this other opening that he doesn't really play that much, and he got mixed up or something. But I don't know. I didn't ask him after the game, so. Now, he did sort of surprise me here, but it turns out that the move he played is actually the most common move in the master database. And I don't think it is as bad as it looks. It looks like a really dumb move, but it does make a fair amount of sense. He played knight b8, always retreat. But obviously I'm pretty happy, with this opening at this point. Like, I've got a nice center, I've got a lead in development, he's wasting time moving his knight back and forth. So knight b8 looks like the common sense move. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's so bad at all. I mean, he's gonna reroute, to one of these squares or something. Oh, you're thinking about a5, knight a6. Yeah, something like that makes sense too. But so I just castled. Seems pretty normal. And he played e6, which surprised me a little bit. I didn't really understand the move e6. I mean, I guess I should have understood it because, I mean, there's two possible things. One, he wants to take here, which is like by far the most likely thing. Like, I'm never taking this, I don't think. I don't, although I guess in the Masters database, 3 out of the 6 games they did take. I don't really want to take that personally. So either he's going to take, or one thought that crossed my mind is he wants to play e5, but he doesn't want me to be able to take. But, that's kind of wasting a lot of tempi. So, and I don't think I'm really afraid of him taking. But I remember I didn't really know what to do here. Because, it's sort of an unfamiliar position to me at this point. Normal progress looking moves like h3, preparing bishop e3. Where to put dark square bishop? Yeah, that was basically what I ended up thinking about. Like, that seems like the most natural next step is to put this guy somewhere good. e3 looks like a good square, but maybe we don't want to run into knight g4, so I did play h3. And in my head, I was kind of like, I mean, it's sort of like a King's Indian where white is even a tempo ahead from normal since he did this knight b8 thing. So like sometimes h3 is sort of a slow move, but h3 is often pretty useful in the King's Indian. And, I already have sort of a lead in development, so it seemed worth doing. Like, it seemed like it couldn't be a bad move. Yeah, I don't know, Ducky. I don't know if that really makes sense, but um, you think just like me. Yeah, but you're better than me, so I need to think just like you, I guess. Um, okay, so h3 happens, and I'm ready to put the bishop here, and I won't be annoyed by any knight g4 business. You're not better than me at this position. Now that I can agree with. And he did what I guess was the obvious point of e6, which is he captured on d5. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that really is like that big of a deal. But we do have to decide which way we're going to take back. And sort of the like if you're just going to go by chess adage, then taking towards the center is what one would do. And I kind of thought that either capture is sort of fine. We can't take with the knight, I don't think, because this pawn's just dropping. But both captures sort of looked okay to me. But then I decided if I take with the c pawn, that the e4 pawn could be a pretty easy target for him. And since I played h3, I don't really want to play f3 to have to defend it. So I thought it would just be a little simpler to take with the e pawn. And I thought this position's still pretty good for white. Another thought that crossed my mind is like, since it's a team event, right? I'm playing against an opponent who's rated 300 points higher rated than me. So, like, I don't want to say I'm playing for a draw, but like, if I can get a draw, like, that is definitely positive EV for my team. Because I'm expected to score probably, like, I don't know, like, less than 0.1 points against this guy. So if I can get half a point, like, that's pretty big. So, like, taking like this is a little more unbalanced, I guess. And taking like this is more like, you know, keeping things a little safer. I don't know if that's solid logic or not, but Imquander says, I don't think that e4 is a big problem. He can defend it many times, and his knight can't live on c5 to hit it. Are we sure his knight can't live on c5 though? Because like if that's the plan, like isn't he gonna do this a5 stuff to keep me from doing b4? Always play for a win. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm not playing for a win. I just kind of thought like both moves are fine, but one's safer, and I'm just gonna go with the safer one. You would gravitate towards CD because you're an ambitious chess player. That's fair. I mean, the positive of taking with the c pawn, as I saw it, is that then we can maybe try to do stuff here. But I sort of like my position. Like, I thought I just have a better position here anyway. Like, I mean, I just have a lead in development, I thought. You know, more space in the center. So. In your head, you'd notice that c takes d5 would be what the engine says, but might play ed5 anyway. Yeah. I don't know that I really thought that exact thought here, but I'm guilty of thinking that way before. Okay. So he played rook e8, which is a pretty natural looking move, I think. And I decided to also play naturally with bishop e3. And I was thinking that maybe one day the bishop will go to d4 to try to counteract this guy, which, I mean, with this pawn structure, like, this guy, you know, could be pretty strong. So it would be really nice, I think, to just offset him. e3 seems like a good square. And now there's no, like, weird tactics or, you know, but... and he played knight bd7. And I kept just playing sort of natural moves. I don't really remember a lot of what I thought about this move, but queen d2 seems very natural. At some point I was thinking about, like, Like, a lot of times queen d2 looks like you want to play bishop h6. But since he played rook e8, like, I'm not forcing the bishop. Like, he could just keep the bishop there, like, if the bishop is so good. So, I mean, this is more just like, it's just an improving move, and my rooks are connected and stuff. You would do b4. Now, b4, do we ever have to worry about, like, tactics, or we don't? Maybe we don't. Probably we don't. Probably nothing works. How's it going, Vindictive? You're biased towards fianchettos, and then people said Cheeto. That's fair. Okay, queen d2 feels pretty natural to me. And then here he played a move which the computer doesn't like. It says it's inaccurate. And I think I agree. And I could sort of, like, I've had these kind of positions as black where, like, these knights end up sort of tripping on each other. Like, they kind of both want to use this square to get here and here or something, you know? He did not play knight e4. He did not play knight c5 either. He played knight e5. It's not like a disastrously bad move or anything. Again, I'm trying to remember, like, a lot of my thoughts about the moves, but remember, I only slept like an hour, so, like, before the tournament. So the whole day is like a blur. But I thought that d4 looked like a good square for my knight, so I put my knight there. And then, like, I did have the idea in my head, like, I could get some initiative going with f4, f5. Take f4. I don't think I considered that. I definitely looked at take, and then I was like, well, it'd be cool if he took with a rook, because I could get my bishop to d4 like I wanted, but, like, you know, he's probably not going to do that. This is also cool. This is cool. Okay, good. Showing class to not trade minor piece. Now we're talking. See, I'm playing for a win. I'm not just trading all the pieces, all right? Now, here he made what is definitely not a good move. So who can find a not good move for black? Who can predict a bad move for black? c5, nope. Bishop f5, nope. Actually, bishop f5 might have been what I was thinking with this, because it's sort of like the only move that makes a lot of sense for the bishop. But anyway, you can predict it. c6, no. b6, no. Knight f3, no. It's a really bad move. It's really bad. h5, no. It's hard to find. It's hard to find. It doesn't look like it should be so bad. Queen d7, close, but no. Bishop f4, no. Not even legal. Queen e7, no. You're getting colder. Rook e6, that would be bad, but no. c6, still no. Bishop d7, no, but you're getting warmer again. If it's really bad, bishop takes h3, no. Bishop d7, still wrong. Knight fd7, Camel got it before Vindictive. And the funny thing about this move, again, I didn't ask him about, like, his thoughts. It would be kind of rude to ask him, like, what were you thinking, dude? But, like, he played knight fd7, and then he got up and went to the bathroom. So, like, I wonder if he was, like, rushed. Like, if he didn't fully think through the move because he needed to go to the bathroom. And it looks like such an innocent move, right? It looks natural. But yeah, as some people have pointed out, f4 now wins the game. And then after the game, I mean, we did talk, and he was like, "Yeah, I just didn't think a knight could get trapped on e5." But I've had this happen to me before, like in this exact sort of scenario where like the knights kind of both need d7. So it's like it's a thing that happens, you know. Now I think black will win because black will have to activate his stand. What's his stand? If you are 1980 rated, you have a stand. I guess I'm not 1980 rated. I don't think I have one. Black is done for. Log jams happen when you're at a space disadvantage. Very true. So yeah, he got back from the bathroom and then he looked at the board and, you know, I was trying to sort of like I wanted to see his reaction, but I also didn't want to like, you know, be like staring, you know, I didn't want to like be rude about it. But I was interested to see like how he would react. And it was sort of like a slow, you know, over the course of a few seconds, realizing like, oh, whoops, my knight has nowhere to go. I did want to hold in my laugh. I mean, I didn't want to laugh at him, but I did find the situation funny. Because, like, remember, I slept an hour beforehand. Okay, like between an hour and 2 hours. And I was like I almost didn't play this game because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna score against this 1980 anyway. Like, I might as well just not play and get 2 more hours of sleep. And then he hung a piece on move 13. So, like, it's a funny situation for me. Now, in a regular event, like if he were having a bad day or something, you know, there's a chance that he would just resign, right? Like, probably not because he's 300 points higher rated than me. But like some people would resign, right? Under the right circumstances. But it's a team event, so like there's no way he's ever resigning, you know. Why is it that higher rated players never make mistakes against you? I don't know. I don't know. He should do F5 and then FE5, DE5. That's sort of what happened. You would beat me here in like classical? Let me see what the times were. Yeah, I was even ahead on the clock, if you can believe it. Okay, well, it was like tied on the clock. I played F4 with 47 minutes left, and then he had 49 minutes, and then he thought for 5 minutes. Yeah, you gotta try to make it confusing. I'm not saying that anyone should resign here. Like, I would, like, I don't think I would resign against anyone if I were black here. I don't think I would resign against Magnus. Like, keep playing. Like, I would lose, obviously. Yeah, this is game 60, delay 5. F5 96 hertz. That's true. Which is possibly why the move he played is better. Actually, I think I have to give him a lot of props because I think he definitely played the best move here. And I'm sort of lucky. Because, like, he found a move that made it really tricky. And I didn't see the trick, but I played the move that didn't fall into the trick. I haven't seen anyone suggest the move yet. It feels like I really think it's such a poisonous move, and he came up with it pretty quickly. Please explain trick I am noob. C5 attacks a knight. And if you en passant, then knight takes c6. That's all true. But there's more to this move than meets the eye. There's something else that c5 does that's important. Yeah, exactly, Mquander. So we actually have to be really careful where we move our knight. Because in my head, here was my thought process. Like, these were the moves I considered. And I was like, I think I'm winning a knight in either line. And, like, knight b5, like, looks sort of more appetizing, right? Because knight b5, we're putting pressure here too, and aggressive. And then I kept looking at it and I was like, well, I mean, I think he's going to defend his pawn. Like, he'll go knight here or something. And then I'll take his knight. I don't remember if that's the exact line I looked at. But I was like, at some point, he's just going to kick me back. And then my knight is kind of bad on a3. So I was like, you know, I don't think this is even a good square for my knight. I think it's just better to go to c2. And then after I played knight c2, then I figured out, like, oh, that was his point. So if I had gone to b5, now he can actually save the knight. Oh wait, I thought he could. Maybe he... Wait, does this still not work? I forgot the knight defends d4. He could do something, right? He could do like this here. And then now he can actually get away with this. Because if I take it, he can take this. And I can't take back because of this pin. Right? Something like that. Oh yeah, knight takes d6 though, you're right. I forgot about that. Knight takes d6, buddy. Yeah, true. Okay, I don't remember... Obviously my I mean, I didn't calculate any of it before I played. I didn't see the idea until after I played knight c2, but... I remember the computer said knight c2 was best, but I don't remember why exactly. Oh, he can do that. Yeah, I mean, it's even giving black an advantage here, I want to point out. And then knight b6. Attacking the bishop, defending the pawn, and I guess threatening a6, and then rook takes bishop, right? So this seems pretty dangerous. Yeah. And then it gives f5. I mean, it's like, just take this. Okay, that's all crazy and computerish. So yeah, I got sort of lucky. But I mean, my reason for playing knight c2 instead of knight b5 was valid. It just happens that there's a much more valid reason that I was totally unaware of. Yeah, I did cheat with the engine there, it's true. Okay, so knight c2, and now none of that ever works because I just defend my bishop with my knight. Okay, so now I'm ahead. I'm about to be ahead because the knight's still trapped. Okay, he played f5 Imquander style. And takes with the pawn, which Imquander also wanted to do. I guess the computer wanted to take with something else, I guess the knight. But I think I agree with Imquander. This looks more annoying for a human. And I did have a long think here, because I was like, man, these pawns kind of scary. Like, what do I do? And I came up with an idea that I later regretted, but I think the computer says it's not so bad. White has d6 at some point. I was looking at d6, like, even here. Even now, I was thinking about d6. Camel approved. Well, Camel's asking questions. d6 might be the best move. I can't remember. d6 go knight d... Yeah. I was just a little worried. Like let's say I do that. d6. Then he'll probably move his knight. And if I ever go here, I mean, I'm losing my pawn. I mean, we can debate, like, you know, like, it might be worth losing that pawn to get the knight there. But, you know, then he's got 2 pawns for the piece. And let's not undersell the value of this pawn. Like, it's a protected pass pawn. So, I don't know. I was just a little nervous about doing it. If he moves the knight, c5 might drop off. Okay, that's true. I think we aren't scared of either pawn push right now, so we should probably just do rook ae1. That's probably right. That's probably better than what I did. Actually, like, in hindsight, I totally hate what I did. But there was some logic behind it. Maybe. d6 looks annoying for black. So you're still on the d6 train. I can believe it. Computer likes moving the rook Bishop G5. I don't know if I saw that was legal. Hey, Imquander's a genius. Rook AE1. I played Bishop H6 question mark. Although the computer doesn't give it a question mark. But it's sort of like, why? Like, why are we going there? Like, he's not going to let us trade bishops. You liked the dark square bishop a lot? I sort of didn't. I was sort of worried it was going to get kicked around. But it was putting pressure on the c-pawn. Yeah, that's all true. That's all true stuff. So he moved his bishop. Which the computer also doesn't like for some reason. And then when he did that, I was like, is he kind of threatening g5? Like, would that be bad for me if my bishop got trapped? Then I was like, okay, I apologize. I'm going back. So, like, obviously this didn't, like, it best, it just threw away a tempo because now it's his turn. And it may have been even worse than that. It, you know, we have to debate if the bishop's better on g7 or f6, but yeah, but like my bishop's trapped, even if I get that pawn. So I was scared. Black is probably playing for max confusing. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what he said after the game too. Yeah, but couldn't he like defend it somehow? I don't know. My analysis probably wasn't the most sound. Again, I slept like an hour the night before. That's my excuse for everything. I'm blameless. Okay, so he played knight b6, which I don't really get. And proving that I didn't sleep very well, I didn't even see that this pawn was hanging. It just didn't occur to me at all. Like, I could take another pawn. Then I'd be up a piece for nothing. Or maybe it did occur to me, but I saw, like, queen c7. I don't remember. I mean, even that, I'm still, you know, I think I'm still winning a pawn somehow, but... So, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't take it. I don't remember. I got nothing. Yeah, I did. At some point, I saw, like, I could take and just play b4. But I was kind of like, let's just get everybody into the party. And I was thinking about d6 stuff. Like, maybe the rook is better on e1, but I don't remember if I seriously compared and contrasted those. Bringing the boys to the... Yeah, exactly. And look, I got all of the people kind of close to the one that looks like them, so... Gotta be good. Okay, then he played f4. And, like, while he was thinking here, I was like, I think I can just take that pawn. So then he played f4, and I was like, all right, I'm taking it. Like, fine, I'll take it. But I also didn't think f4 was all that good. Like, I mean, like Imquander, I was sort of looking at both of these moves constantly, and I always thought f4, like, it's probably not too good to give up that square, and bishop could maybe do stuff, and, you know. How little sleep did the opponent get? I mean, you know, he's just trying to make it confusing and weird. Also, he hadn't played in, like, several months. So that might also, you know, he might have been a little rusty. It is hard to play, yeah. That queen, knight, knight, bishop, bishop, yeah, I think so. Pretty cute. Imquander doesn't think he can beat me anymore after f4, dang. Okay, so I took the pawn. Now it's just a knight. No pawns, no nothing. And he played bishop f5. The point. Yeah, pretty good square for the bishop, I guess. Stopping knight e4, true. And like I thought about this, it looks kind of ugly, but it also just runs right into e4. Like he's trying to get these guys going. You know, that's his counterplay if it exists, which it doesn't. But on phalanx, yeah. You have to hope somehow white allows g5 and e4. Well, I guess in a sense I did. You'd play bishop g4 and laugh. I saw bishop g4 was legal, but I didn't really see any reason that I should like create weakness over here. e4 bad because f4 unprotected. True. Okay, I played b3 because there was some line I was afraid of where this pawn was loose. I don't remember why. Bishop g5 instead of bishop f5, intending to play e4. I don't know, it looks kind of ugly. I think I would play bishop f3. And then I got this square. I got it, right? See, I don't remember what line I was afraid of c4 dropping, but I was like, it's never going to drop. I'm just going to be solid and up at night. I don't know. And then he played g5 vindictive style. Threatens c4. Wait. There is a lean. There is? Rook c8. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is what I was afraid of. I remember. Now that vindictive said it, I remember. But yeah, I was afraid of stuff here. So I was like, yeah, defend it. G5 is Imquander style, but you said G5. I guess Imquander also said it. Well, you're both wrong because it's inaccurate, apparently. Possibly not for any reason that I was aware of. Although, I was aware of the reason, I guess. So Camel wants bishop G4. Imquander wants bishop H5. I don't think I revisited the idea of bishop G4. But I did play bishop H5. And I was like, I think the guy has to trade off this bishop, and then I'm looking like real good. Yeah, because like if he goes bishop G6 and I take and he takes back and I get my knight to E4, like he's got nothing, right? So I thought the game was like I thought I was about to lock this thing up. I agree that after 94, black can resign, so I don't know what black should do. Yeah. He played E4. Nope. He did other stuff. He did find a good move, I think. E4, not scary to you. But maybe he should do it anyway. Dang. In this position, black played knight D7. Incorrect. But similar vein. Same energy. Queen C7. There you go, case money. Queen C7 is a good move. I agree. I agree Queen C7 is a good move. And then I like analyze some stuff. But the important thing is that he's taking this with check, so like, you know, I don't want to give two bishops for the rook. And he gave himself some squares. So like, I thought I was forcing him to go here, else be down a whole rook, but that turned out to not be true. Because after Queen C7, I saved my bishop, bishop A3. Maybe there's a better way to save my bishop. I'll listen. And then he saved his rook. Although the computer still says this is really, really good for white. White is up a knight, so. Queen C7 is a good freaking move. Yeah, I agree. Queen C7 was annoying. Like, I was, you know, I was ready to put the shiny bow on one of my best over-the-board wins. And then you know, I was like, dang, I have to keep playing. Bishop A3 fishy looking. Nah, I guess I like bishop A3. Big decision for bishop. Yeah, I don't know. What am I supposed to do if not bishop A3? My bishop just always feels sort of clunky to me over here. I mean, 2 of these squares are hanging. It feels clunky to me on that. Like, where am I going? I got no squares to go, and I'm blocking my... Like, I don't know. I thought the bishop would kind of like to be here, maybe. I don't know. Bishop f2, it's covering the diagonal, and someday if black plays e3, I will take twice there. I don't remember when, but there was a point in the game where I was thinking, like... I think it actually was here. I was analyzing, like, what if the guy plays e4? And you guys were talking about e4 too here. And one of my thoughts against e4 was take, and then, like, something, and then if I have to sack a piece for 2 pawns, I'm ahead everything. So my evaluation was I'm not afraid in this line because I can just sack a knight or something and get pawns. Like, I guess it's my turn here, but, you know, if he does something, if he does this on his next turn, I'm ready to just start taking. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, what Imquander said. Okay, so bishop a3, maybe there was a better square, but I don't know. And then he did something. Yeah, he moved his rook, which the computer does not like. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll just win the game. I guess I'll just push my pawns and start winning. Yeah, I thought about d6. I think I liked this first for some reason. I also can't sleep on planes. Can't do it. Well, that's not true. If I'm going on a long trip and it's like multiple flights, the first plane I cannot sleep on. The second plane I'll sleep the entire time. I don't know why. So ideally, the first leg is like a short leg to like the big airport, and then the big leg, and then I can sleep on that. I prefer d6 because knight d5 forks everything. Everything, you say? If knight d and then queen takes d is check. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. They're probably both good. I mean, I'm up at knight. I got a lot of good stuff going here. Bishop's pretty helpful, even though you guys were lambasting the bishop on a3. I guess you were lambasting it. Okay, he brought his rook over, and I was like, I didn't know that was possible. Like, I thought I attacked the guy's knight, he'll probably move it. But he's being so tricky. And then, I don't remember exactly why, but I was convinced that taking the knight's not good. I mean, he gets kind of active. Like, if I take and he takes, like, we get to trade some stuff, but then, you know, this bishop is sort of, you know, I don't know. It just felt sort of loose, and the more we trade, the more annoying these pawns are. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was a little scared, I guess. Lambasting. Yeah, it's a good word. Perfectly cromulent word. Let's see if Scrabblebot's here. Oh, yeah, I forgot. My Twitch chat doesn't work in OBS for some stupid reason. Okay. Can't we play knight b5, knight d6? Looks very strong. We have to deal with rook takes d5. Well, I played knight b5 because I agreed with Imquander. And again, my sort of like bad analysis, I think I like forgot this bishop's attacking the knight. I was like, he'll move the queen and then I'll take his knight, GG. But it still is like all pins because his rook can take C2. Yeah, I actually did calculate rook d5, but I thought, don't I just come out like way ahead there? Somehow. Sure, but knight d6 is great. Well, he moved his queen because it was attacked, so he played queen g7. Can we even do knight d6? Because knight d6, doesn't he take it? And then like he got 2 pieces for his rook, and his rook's all good, and pawn, and once these pawns are doubled, I don't like them as much. I analyzed that. I'm realizing now that I did do some bad analysis. Because I was like, I'll just take his pawn. But then I was like, oh no, rook a8 skewers my pieces. But I could take his knight and defend my knight. So surely that's a good move, right? But I didn't look any further than this, but this looks like it is pretty winning. Yeah, that's right. That's right, competitive muffin diver. So I don't know. Those were my thoughts on knight a7, which I probably incorrectly analyzed. And I think I correctly analyzed this. I think rook d6 is good. Yeah. So he can do some stuff, which is unpleasant. And he got 2 pieces for the rook. So I played a different move. I played d6. I don't know if that's a good move. I don't know. Like, it's probably not bad. But I'm like, I'm moving my pawns forward. It's got to be good. And, like, my queen can come in and do stuff. You know? It feels like I'm moving forward and I'm winning the game. Bishop f3 was an interesting move. Why, though? I don't get it. Bishop f3, what if the guy does e4? That's what I would be afraid of. You changed your mind? Okay, good. The bar seems to tell the story here. Oh, I am up at night. So. Bishop f3, voluntary Gimpsu. That was kind of my thought, too. Okay, so I played d6. I don't know if it's that good or not. He saw his knight was attacked and moved it. Is there some reason that this same trick isn't working now? Like I can't remember if I thought there was some reason. Like he must have thought there was some reason because the guy moved his knight. But I don't know what the big difference is. Knight e3. Spicy. But yeah, your queen's hanging at the end of that. F3, queen e3. I can't follow the line. Too hard. Yeah, I guess I should just play knight a7, and I talked myself out of it. Computer says d6 is the best move, and I'm a genius. Says all of that. Okay, whatever. d6, hooray me. Smart, yes. He played knight d7, and I was like, Potzer sees a check. And he went to the corner. And then I was like, oh yeah, my knight's hanging. So like I was looking at I don't know, I was looking at some stupid stuff. Like I was looking at queen f7, and then I was like, oh yeah, my knight's hanging. Let's not give back the piece. And then I found what I thought was a good move, and I predict that Mquander will like it, because he already suggested it. Knight e1. I probably didn't consider knight e1. 91, I would be afraid of e4, but that would hang a bishop, so I shouldn't be afraid of it. But I would be afraid of it. Julian's back. Position looks winning with every move. Yeah, it's good to be up at night. 93 or knight d4 look like legal moves. I didn't see, I never saw until 5 seconds ago that this pin existed, but I did see this pin. So I played knight e3. And I was like, well, I'm winning. But I actually regret knight e3. And maybe knight d4 has the same problem. It's not really a problem, but it made things tricky. Bishop takes h3, correct. And I was like, dang, I didn't see that. And then I was like, do I care about that? Like, the one positive of his position was these pawns, and they're kind of just getting all weak and bad. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll take it. And he's like, okay, I'll take the knight. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just go take that pawn. But maybe there's something better. Bishop g4. I definitely didn't see that was legal. Is that definitely working? Here. And then... Oh, but no, but my bishop is on that. Okay, so I guess I can just take this. Yeah, you might be right. I didn't see that. It could be Julian. He's about... I don't know how old he is. No, he's not an old guy. He's a young guy. He's younger than me, for sure. I'm going to say he's about... I think he's maybe a few years older than Julian, but I'm not sure. Sounds like old guy. Well, all old guys were young guys once. Imagine going to a chess camp and then hanging all your knights and pawns. Yeah, luckily I never went to a chess camp. So I'm allowed to hang my knights and pawns. Okay, so he took, I took, he took, and I was like, give me that pawn. And then he played g4. And I was like, that was more annoying than I realized. Now, I remember when I got home, I looked over the game briefly in my sleep-deprived state. I am easy to annoy. What's wrong with HG? I don't know. I played HG. My recollection is the computer says to play bishop takes g4. And then I thought, like, h5 won a bishop. But then the computer refutes that somehow. Maybe black hardly has the time for h5. I mean, I guess, like, my guess... Nah, I don't even know if that's my guess. Ah, I think Camel has stumbled upon the solution. Bishop g4, h5, rook f5. Oh no, my bishop, but oh no, your queen. Interesting if true. Rook f5 is hot. Yeah. That does seem good. I never saw any of that. I stopped my analysis here. I was like, my bishop's pinned. So I took with the g-pawn. And I was like, I think I'm still chilling here. He played bishop h4, attacking my rook. By the way, I'm pretty low on time here, but so is he. I was ahead on the clock. It was like equal. I think I was maybe down a couple of minutes for a lot of the game. At this point in the game, I had 6 minutes left. He also had about 6 minutes. He gives away his pawns as fast as possible. Just take it. I took it. Don't worry. And then he did knight f6. Now, I think, in hindsight, the fact that I did not get much sleep the night before, it didn't really impact my play as long as I had a lot of time on my clock to think. Like I could still come up with some good chess stuff. Like I played this game like close to perfect up to this point. Like obviously not perfect, but like I don't think I ever made any like real like I don't think I even really had like any inaccurate moves yet. Like this has just been a really good game. I don't understand what Black is playing for. Well, it's a team event. He can't resign. Like even if he would resign in a regular game, he definitely wouldn't resign in a team event. Unless the result of the match was already determined. You know. So I think around here, when I'm getting to like 5 minutes, my calculation probably wasn't so good. And I started becoming afraid of things that didn't exist. I think. He's praying that for some reason, White plays Rook takes e5. Yeah. Queen f7 is chill city. I played Queen f7. But yeah, maybe Queen takes e5 is better. Probably. I don't think I even considered Queen takes e. Like, I don't think I saw that the pawn was hanging. I don't think I did. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't play Queen takes e5 if I had seen it. So I must have just not seen it. I had been sort of toying with the Queen f7 idea for a while. I was like, let's just try to get those queens off. But Queen f7 doesn't even get the queens off. It just like looks like it's trying to get the queens off. But like, I mean, the guy is not trading queens, right? Like there's no universe where he's trading queens. And now again here, like there's a pretty... I remember what the computer says to do here, because the computer just like simplifies the game. But I didn't. Queen takes e5, Rook e8, d7. It looks like a thing. Although Rook e8, yeah, I guess I can't take it because stuff. So yeah, never mind. Sack the exchange. That's what the computer says to do. And I don't think I even saw it was legal. But yeah, we could just sack the exchange and make the game pretty simple. Like there's really... I mean, there's not much to be afraid of, it doesn't seem like, right? Like just here? No. I mean, maybe I defend this for... I don't know, but... You know, sooner or later, these pawns are going to be good. Is basically the moral of the story. Just go like here, you know. Something. Knight c7. Yeah, I mean, just whatever. But I didn't see that. I didn't even consider that that was legal. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking. I don't think I'm ever going to remember what I was thinking for the rest of the game. Because again, I was under 5 minutes from here, yeah. And I actually stopped notating after Queen f7 was the last move I notated. But I remember enough of the rest of the game that I can show you the time scramble. I already put it in. Every move I put in definitely happened. There is a point where I forget, but the game is decided by then. So, okay, I played Rook ef3. Like, I don't know, doing stuff on the file. I don't know. He took my thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess he was sort of threatening that. And I was like, can we trade queens, please? And I think he sort of can't refuse. Right? And he was like, okay, we can trade queens, but I'm going to get your exchange. Bishop takes g4. That looks risky. Isn't that risky? Maybe it's not. It just looks risky. Not the exchange. I mean, true. Like, I'm definitely still winning. There's no doubt. However, my next move was not so good. Can you not give the exchange by playing, for example, d7? I'm certain I didn't see d7 was legal. Do I understand it? Ugh. Bishop b2? That seems like a good move. Remember, every move wins. You're wrong, Julian. Every move does not win. I can guarantee you that every move doesn't win. I can prove it. Knight c7, then bishop b2. Bishop. Yeah, these are all very sane, cogent chess moves, but I wasn't in a sane, cogent state of mind. That's my excuse. Man, you guys still haven't found the move that doesn't win. So find the move I made here that doesn't win. Because that's what I did. Rook takes e5 as your move. Correct. And then he played the move that I didn't see. Rook check. Rook g8 check. And yeah, that's not an exchange. That's just a rook now. So, not so good. Now, Julian might contend that this is still winning. He might do it. I was still playing for a win here. But I don't think it's... I mean, the computer... I don't mean to be a computer guy. But it's saying plus 0.4. Bishop b2 and black is dead. I played bishop b2. And I did feel pretty smart. I was like, maybe he is still in big trouble here. And then he played bishop f6 Pavlikich style. And that does seem to kind of hold it together. You're still better at being a full... Yeah, I mean, true. But, like, maybe this is still winning. Like, it is giving plus 0.8 now. Now d7. I don't super get it. Like, isn't he gonna just play rook d8? As we know, chess is mostly... I mean, at this point, the chess was absolutely sort of about psychology. Like I was not playing the same way in this time scramble that I did the rest of the game. Enticing rook g8, so now d7 comes with tempo. Yeah, that's probably what I was doing. I played bishop f7. Again, I'm like pretty sure that the like I input these moves last night when I got home. Like, I don't remember it now, but I am trusting that when I input the moves last night that I remembered it. No, I had a plan, because he moved the rook, and I was like, is this what even happened? I don't know. I think I might have just made all this stuff up. Because I was thinking I played bishop e6, and that was my big idea. But that doesn't make sense, so... No, he didn't leave it... No, I mean, like, this kind of stuff... Okay, yeah, this position did happen. And that apparently gave away the game. It's still giving +2 here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Bishop e8, maybe? It says bishop e6 is best. Defending the pawn. Okay. I can understand that. Is rook e8 an in-between? That's what I felt really good when I played it, because I was like, I got all these threats, you know? I think he only has one move here. Rook e8 looks masterly. Well, I was really hoping for rook takes rook, and then bishop takes bishop checkmate. I remember I was hoping for that. That would have been a nice way to win the game. But he played bishop takes bishop. I mean, like, the checkmate is threatened. Like, there's not too much he can really do. Yeah, that's what happened. And then I don't know if these next moves are probably not any good. Yeah, I mean, the next moves are definitely not good. Because in my head, I saw this position, and I was like, I think I can win by, like, finagling the knight over here to get the promotion in. But I don't think that's true. I also definitely didn't realize I'm just down a rook. Like, I'm just down a rook right now. I remember at some point I looked down, and I was like, oh, I'm down a rook. And as it happened, all of my other teammates had lost their games at this point. So we had already gone 0-3 in the match. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of hope. I did keep playing. Yeah, and then, like, we moved around some. I got that pawn, and I was like, I mean, I'm coming. I got guys. Yeah, this is where last night I wrote, I no longer remember what happened. But I did lose. So he somehow got the knight back to help defend. It got weird. Like, the knight ended up here, and there were weird, like, you know, tactics where you look like you're hanging the knight, but he can't take because then it promotes. You know, there was weird stuff. But yeah, somehow he just stopped everything, and then I was like, well, I'm down a rook. I think he ended up taking one, if not both, of the pawns or something. I can't remember. No, the Alabama team championship sadly does not take place on DGT boards. Sadly. So yeah, that was a tragedy of a game. I played really well for most of the game. But he did a really good job of making it tricky in the time scramble, and I just completely melted. Seems like you need a little better time management. I actually wasn't even down on the clock. Like, it was mutual time pressure. It's just, you know, he's 300 points better than me, and he outplayed me in the blitz game, you know? So. And I mean, really, a lot of it just comes down to right here, that I just didn't see rook e8 check was looming in the position. And I was kind of like, you know, whatever, I'm losing an exchange, but I'm still looking good. But then, yeah, now it's a full rook. So I can't blunder a full rook. It's not good. Being neutral doesn't make it better for me. It doesn't make it better for me, but it does suggest that my time management wasn't bad. The greed, yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, I mean, it was, I mean, like, even when, after he hung the piece, like, I mean, for most of the game, I was still outplaying him. Like, he was trying to make it tricky, but my advantage was growing. You know, I was getting all this play. So, you know, I don't want to think about it as, like, well, if I had just slept better, then I would have had a different result. Because I don't know if that's true or not, but, you know. It was a close call. It was a good game. Can't be too upset about it, I guess. And yeah, actually, when I did resign, and we shook hands, he was like, sorry, man. Like, he said sorry to me. Which, that makes it worse. He shouldn't, don't do that. Nah, I didn't really mind. Okay, so that was sort of a tragic way to begin. And it was even more tragic. The tragedy compounded because, like, my teammate next to me, I thought had a winning position. Like, he was up 2 pieces for a rook or something. I thought he was going to win. And then, like, the other 2 boards were kind of close. I couldn't tell what was going on. And then, you know, it was like, man, I think we're going to do well in this match. We were paired up. So I was like, I think we had a good chance to upset this team. And then, like, over the course of, like, 10 minutes, it went from, like, we've got a good shot to win this match to we got swept.